Hey there, everybody. Wanted to do a quick update. Meteorologist Johnny Lively. We're taking a look at Tropical Depression number 2. You can see right now in the satellite imagery, there is no well-defined center. This thing is really it's having a hard time. Look at the dry air that's probably still getting into it, especially on the mid to upper levels. It's very dry, and so this is still getting down there on the surface. We're just not seeing anything very well-defined. You can see all the showers and thunderstorms are well off towards the west, and especially well on towards the south. So this is very lopsided. We talked about this yesterday. But we still have a chance that today, getting into tomorrow on Tuesday, and a little bit of Wednesday, you can see this is mainly has some little bit of open waters. There is some land interaction just towards the north, but this does have a window of opportunity that this can slowly strengthen into Tropical Storm Bertha. Now, we will continue to keep watching this after Wednesday because there is a chance this goes maybe somewhat further south and can get slowly better organized, but I don't see really signs of it right now because if this does make its way by Tuesday, getting into Wednesday, this is somewhere from Pensacola, getting into Mobile, and very close to New Orleans. Notice the wind speeds here. This actually says it's tropical storm, and by the time this gets near New Orleans and starts riding that coast, that land interaction, dry air, and wind shear, notice that we actually see that this will continue to keep weakening. So for southeast Texas and southwest Louisiana, not too concerned on this. This looks like minimum impacts. We will continue to keep watching this, but this does look, scary, right? It's a scary looking cone. But it's more bark than bite because even if it does a straight beeline to us, the heaviest rains will possibly be just offshore, maybe along the coastline, but it's going to be mostly offshore. And let's say it does go further south and maybe it intensifies into a hurricane. Well, still not a problem for us because all the rain is going to be well offshore. And we'll see exactly if it does the southern track. But as of right now, Tropical Depression number 2 is having a hard time. We'll see if it gets its act together, tries to shield off some of that dry air and shear. So far, it's been very unsuccessful at that. Right now, it seems that this is a pretty good forecast that by the time we get into Wednesday, it will be here. Dry air, shear, and land interaction will give it a pretty hard time, and then it continues moving westward. Southeast Texas, southwest Louisiana, we start seeing some rain chances Thursday and Friday, and that's just about it. You can see the dry air still kind of getting into the center. There's no well-defined core, but still lots of bubbling, showers and thunderstorms going on, but again, it's really far to the south and off towards the west. Said yesterday, this is not going to be your classic-looking tropical system where the center, especially towards the east, is healthy, and that's where all the heavy rain is. It's east side loaded. This is going to be totally opposite. It's going to be the southern side is loaded and the west side is loaded because high pressure, shear, and dry air shoves it towards the south. And so that's good news for, not having big impacts for the United States coastline, especially the Gulf Coast. So you can see the area of high pressure towards the southern plains. That's what's bringing this westward. But one of the big things is this area. This is a weak frontal boundary that's really kind of shoving any moisture right along the coast and well offshore. So this is the reason I don't think this is going to be a big flood concern for the United States, especially for areas like the Gulf Coast. We'll see what does it do for the coastline, but as of right now, I just don't see any big impacts from this. But this will bring rounds of heavy rainfall from New Orleans to Mobile and to Pensacola, Florida, really now until Wednesday into Thursday. And then notice how it gets stretched out. We're not even seeing like a ball. You're not seeing a center anymore because if it does ride the coast Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, dry air, wind shear, and this weak frontal boundary is just going to stretch it out, and we're going to see deep tropical moisture in from sections from Corpus Christi, mainly southeast Texas, all the way into portions of the deep south. So realistically, this is really, just bringing rain to portions of the deep south, especially the east Gulf Coast right now through Wednesday, and then areas like Texas into Louisiana. We'll be watching this Thursday and Friday. I just think the impacts are going to be minimum as of right now, but we're definitely going to continue to keep watching this. We're not writing this off by any means. And thanks to Tamco, Helgar Beyond Class 4, we're showing this Futurecast model. I don't like really showing these for tropical entities. Sometimes they get overdone, but I think this one does a pretty decent job. It might not do great Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, but I still think it does a pretty decent job. So what I'm trying to show is that we actually might see Recon find a decent center later today, maybe tomorrow. So it gets the name tag Tropical Storm Bertha. Sounds scary, right? But notice all the heavy rain is well offshore, far towards the south and off towards the west. So even if it has that name tag, look at where all the rain is well offshore. Sure, you get some rounds of showers and thunderstorms into these sections, but all the heaviest, the training thunderstorms and the bad convection and heavy rain is well offshore. And I think this does a pretty good, job of depicting that. And again, look at this. We might have a well-defined center by the time we get into Wednesday. Maybe this is a little overdone, but let's say that maybe this model is hyping it up. Still, look at the heaviest rain, well offshore, nowhere along the coastline. Maybe we start seeing a little bit more on the coastline, but again, typically this is where all your heavy rain would be. You see heavy rain, tornadoes. You're not seeing that. It's well offshore. I think this model does a pretty good job. But again, we're not writing this off. We're definitely going to continue to keep watching this. If it, makes landfall somewhere in New Orleans and continues to ride the coast, even better news for southeast Texas and southwest Louisiana, because then it will continue to keep weakening. Dry air, wind shear, land interaction. Again, heavy rain staying well offshore. If I'm trying to hype something up and make this worst case scenario for southeast Texas, southwest Louisiana, if this comes straight at us, 2-4 inches is what we're looking at, worst case scenario up to 6 inches. But right now, I think everything really stays offshore, well towards our east. This is also better news for the Texas Hill Country. I don't think this is going to bring flooding concern for them. And again, here's the rainfall outlook. It all depends on really where this tracks, the strength of it and everything, but I think this is a pretty good forecast. There is a potential from New Orleans to Panama City, 4 to 6 inches of rain definitely is possible. This model might not do a good job of showing that, but just showing that the heaviest rain is well offshore. We could see some 4 to 6 inches in these regions, and then by the time we get into Wednesday, really Thursday and Friday, we see this track towards our area, but really no big bona fide rainfall totals. This looks something to be somewhat minimal for us. So here's our tropical update for today. It is Monday morning. We're going to have more tropical updates throughout the day today, especially the rest of the week. So thanks for tuning with Gulf Coast Weather Solutions. Y'all have a good Monday. We're going to continue watching around the clock of what's going on. And thanks again to all of our sponsors for allowing us to have this show and allowing us to have Gulf Coast Weather Solutions. We definitely can't do this without you.
Gulf Coast Weather Solutions is sponsored by. Thank you for making Gulf Coast Weather Solutions one of your go-to sources for weather around the clock. From heavy downpours and severe storms to winter weather and the tropics, we've got you covered with accurate, reliable forecasts you can trust.
Next week is starting to look a little bit more stormy.
But look what's moving into the state of Texas.
Gulf Coast Weather Solutions.